Hello and welcome to this video, Preparing, Creating and Delivering a Good Presentation. My name's Claire Seckham and I'm a languages teacher and an independent consultant. You can read more about what I do on my blog, which is called Changing Phase, and all of my languages resources are on my website, Lightbulb Languages. You can also connect with me on Blue Sky, and my Blue Sky handle is at the bottom there. As part of my role, I give presentations often and also get to listen to those given by other people. In this video, I'll pass on the tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way so that you too can prepare, create and deliver a good presentation. I'm going to be talking about three main aspects of creating a good presentation: preparing the script, creating the slides, and delivering the presentation. The first step of preparing your presentation is to work out your script. Do this before you create your slides. The slides should fit the script and not the other way around. Your audience is coming to listen to you. They've been drawn in by the title and description of your presentation. They want to hear the whole story and maybe even have some time for questions at the end. So it's important that you plan and script your presentation to ensure that you'll be able to say everything that you want to say in the allocated time. Before you start, find out how long you'll be speaking for and prepare a presentation that's about 5 minutes shorter than that to allow for a delayed start, tech not working, or questions at the end. When you're starting your script, you'll need to ask yourself some questions. So, what do you want to tell your audience about? What's the problem that you're seeking to solve? Why is it important? What's in it for your audience? Why should they listen to you? Once you've decided what you want to tell your audience about, make sure you do tell them. If your title is a question, make sure you answer the question. While you're writing your script, consider including some or all of the following to help to shape your presentation. Firstly, build in a little introduction about yourself. What will the audience need to know about you? Explain your role and explain how this has led you to talk about this topic. When you're structuring your script, think about how you would structure an essay. Say what you're going to say it, and then say what you just said. The presentation will need an introduction, a middle, and a conclusion. Give the audience some background as to what you're speaking about. Maybe some people don't already know anything about it. Define your terms. Put your talk into context. Consider including some stories or anecdotes from your own experience to help to make the content stick, but don't boast. Build in some questions to pull attention back to you. Answer them yourself or also invite your audience to answer. And give the audience something to magpie, some takeaways, so that they can practice what you've been talking about. Once you're happy with your script, you can start to create your slides. A successful presentation, of course, doesn't have to have slides. Some of the best presentations that I've seen haven't had slides. Slides can provide visual interest like photos, diagrams, and keywords. The visuals that you choose should enhance your presentation but not detract from it. They shouldn't show bullet points and lots of text. Remember that your audience has come to hear you speak. They haven't come to see you read from a screen. As soon as your audience starts to read the text on the screen, they're going to stop listening to you. If you must have text on the screen, give people time to read it. People can't read and listen at the same time, so will probably end up not retaining what you want them to retain. Don't use your slides as a substitute for your notes, for example, with lists of bullet points that you're going to discuss. Ideally, the slide should be no use without the speaker, and the speaker should still be able to give their presentation without the slides. If you do need to provide more information, consider preparing a handout to give out at the end or direct people to a web page or blog. Start off with a title slide, which shows clearly the title of your presentation, You may also decide to add the name and the date of the event at which you'll be speaking and an image which reflects the theme of the event. Then aim for one message per slide. You don't want there to be too much to focus on all at once, or to have a rapidly changing menu of images which will detract from what you're saying. If you're including words, keep them brief and try to avoid complete sentences. When it comes to designing your slides, here are some things to bear in mind. Firstly, fancy slides won't make the presentation better. It's the quality of the script and the message and the passion of the speaker which are important. Don't feel that you have to use one of the templates provided by PowerPoint or another slide creating software. A blank slide showing a single photo can be very effective. Darker backgrounds are preferable, as lighter ones, especially white, can be quite dazzling. Create yourself a colour palette with one or two colours. I usually use a dark grey background and a white or yellow font. Steer clear of opposite colours such as red and green, as people with any degree of colour blindness will find it difficult to see. The eye is drawn to size and to colour and to contrast, so think about what's important and what you want your audience to focus on. Aim for 6 objects or fewer on a slide so that these can all be seen with one eye full, if you like, and are a lot less taxing, therefore, on the viewer. Don't use jazzy animations unless they really add something to your presentation. It can be very distracting. Have a look at the TEDx talk where Mark Robinson trivializes Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech by putting it all on a slide and then animating it. Just a quick word about copyright. Please be sure that you credit anybody whose words, images, or work you want to include in your presentation. I'd recommend contacting them in advance and asking them if it's okay to include their work. I know I'm not the only person who has come across their own work unexpectedly during someone else's presentation, or who has seen another presenter show a picture of someone else's work and just saying, I got this off Twitter, with no credit being given. If you don't have any of your own photos or pictures that are suitable, then use a website that provides photos and images that can be used freely, such as Pixabay, Unsplash, and Pexels. This is particularly important if you're planning to share the presentation publicly. Many of the images in this presentation are from Pixabay. If you're going to be sharing your presentation but still want to maintain some control over the images and content of your slides, consider exporting each slide as an image of which the individual components then can't be easily copied. In PowerPoint, click on File and then Save As. Select Save as PNG Portable Network Graphics format. The JPEG equivalent doesn't always save the images as the right size. And then tell it to export all your slides. It will save all the images in a new file on your computer. Then create a new PowerPoint presentation and import these new images as a photo album. Click on Insert and then Photo Album. Navigate to the saved images and drop them into the new PowerPoint. This also usually makes your presentation smaller in size for sharing. An alternative, of course, is to PDF your slides for sharing after the event. If you're going to include some text, for example, if you're a teacher wanting to show a classroom idea or resource, you will need to choose your font carefully. It needs to be clear for everyone to read easily, and it's advisable to keep it in the same size throughout your presentation. Stick with one font that contrasts well with your background, for example, a light font on a dark background. Whichever font you choose, and I've used ABZ size 44 for this presentation, it needs to be legible not only on the screen in the room where you're presenting, but also on a tablet or on a phone. If you're giving your presentation remotely, you can't guarantee that people will be watching on a nice big computer screen. It's also becoming more and more common for presentations to be watched asynchronously. If people are watching your presentation on a mobile device, Will your font still be clear enough to be read easily? Once you've chosen your font, it's important that you don't use all capital letters. The rounder shapes of lowercase letters makes them easier to read. Capital letters are mostly straight lines and look more similar to each other and therefore make it more difficult to read the text easily. If you want to emphasize something on the screen, consider italics or bold instead of capitals. Sometimes you might find that the font you've chosen isn't recognized by the computer that you're using to present from, and when you display your slides, the text isn't where you want it to be. One way to overcome this is to export your slides as images in the way I described previously. Something else to consider is embedding the font in your presentation by clicking on File, then Options, and then Save. You'll be able to click to embed the font in the file to ensure that it doesn't get replaced by another font on your slide. Once you're happy with your script and its accompanying slides, it's vital that you rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Make sure that you can deliver the presentation within the time limit while speaking at a reasonable pace. Time it and make edits if necessary. It's annoying and frustrating when you go to listen to a presentation and the speaker misses bits out or rushes at the end because they're running out of time. Consider doing a video recorded run through and then listen back to evaluate it. And this will also be useful to have as a backup. On the day, don't be afraid to have your notes or your script with you. If you've rehearsed your presentation, you shouldn't need to look at them too much and you'll be able to speak with confidence and make eye contact with your audience. I hope you found this video useful and good luck with your next presentation.